in an office somewhere in Parliament Hill, there are people working right now trying to figure out how to take your stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what's obviously the government is desperate. Yes. They didn't. When you got somebody as incompetent and as horrible as Bill Blair in charge, because that's who was in charge back when they did this on the file. He wouldn't have given this a second thought. He would have said, well, we're just going to order the RCMP to do this, and we'll worry about the details later. Well, people forget that these tasks are carried out by human beings. A lot of these people are gun owners. A lot of these people didn't get into policing because they wanted to, boot doors down and confiscate property that the government just decides someday is too dangerous to own. And, if they force the RCMP, because I think at some level they can force some members of the RCMP. Anyway, if they say, well, you know what, we're going to give you a bunch of money, we're going to get some, we're going to appoint some special constables, whatever. You need to get this done, period. It's not a discussion. Can you imagine? Like the RCMP are very demoralized as it is. They don't have enough people to do policing. They're a lot of corruption, obviously. They're almost in collapse at some level, right? If you think of all the stuff that Brenda Lucki was involved in. Can you imagine how many my back's out. I got to go on disability. It's time that I actually transition out of policing because this is not what I signed up for. Just on and on. You could have RCMP members be like, you know what? I'm doing everything I can to disrupt this program. But
I would expect that. Yeah.
But I'll say this, and this is going to be a little bit edgy, is there will be 30, 40, maybe up to 50% of those guys that'll be like, I can't wait to start this program. I can't wait for it. Because I've met some of those people, right? I used to work with police a lot. Mostly people that are like, okay, well, we have to stay reasonable because we get consent from the public. And then you have some people that's like, hey, I can legally do whatever I want. So that's going to create a lot of tension within the RCMP. And I would like police forces, like even any kind of force, a capacity for force has to be dealt with very judiciously and very carefully, especially because you want human beings to carry these things out. And I don't know, that's not something I would ever want to be involved with if I was in government, is trying to figure out how to make that happen and deal with the internal tension. Forget the public, right? Forget the public and how they're going to feel about it. Even within the RCMP. But anyway, I don't know.
Well, and they're short-staffed as it is, just like every other industry, including, the Army. They're all short-staffed. They don't have spare officers to run around kicking in doors together at the AR-15s from licensed owners. So I don't know. The minister has created quite the mess for himself, and I'm in no hurry to see this be implemented to begin with, but I think he's still a very, very long way off. I could see this being a yet another election promise down the road.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's pretty wild, and not to beat it to death, but I'll tell you, tackling crime is a last resort to these people. They think taking guns away from licensed gun owners using these mechanisms that we just talked about is the easier path.
Yeah.
Right? And then, of course, you're like, okay, well, no idiot would ever think that. And of course, the next question comes up, why are they in such a hurry to take guns away from people that are vetted every day? And they're in no hurry to stop people that have firearm prohibitions from running around on bail after 24 hours shooting people.
Right.
So there's questions. What's the hurry with me and you?
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
If you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.